back to JKLIVE Live here at Citizen Television with the sheriff himself, DPP Nurdin Haji. He's just calling it like he sees it without fear or favor. Tweets coming in thick and fast. Francis Atwoli, oh yeah, my brother Francis. He says, Jeff, that young man, together with his colleague Kinoti, are serious Kenyans that this country must be proud of. Francis Atwoli, Secretary General Kotu. And then here's a message, direct message for you. Philip Murgo. He says, the job of DPP is the most difficult and lonely one in Kenya. I wish Nurdin Haji success for the sake of the country. Do you feel lonely?
No, not really. I have my team. I really want to take this opportunity to thank the prosecutors. I have my very able deputy Dorcas. I also have able a number of other deputies who help me. But the prosecution fraternity, I think for a long time was misunderstood. We're a family. We work together now more than ever, very closely. We're tightly knit now, and we're putting our best leg forward to fight the good fight.
One more. There's Generali. She says, Kikuyus 100 and what? Who bewitched us? All right, let's move along. Let's move on. Don't answer that. So I asked you before the break that you're very close to DCI, George Kinoti, right? Working relationship. You guys are very close and you're a great team.
And the ESCC CEO too.
Correct. The new guy.
He's just coming.
Yeah, he's a good guy too.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does it make you feel when the governor of Nandi County, Stephen Sang, described Kinoti as President Uhuru Kenyatta's errand boy?
And whose errand boy is he? So, I think let's be fair. We don't need to be derogative in what we say. Mr. Kinoti is a very able investigator and a very able director of criminal investigations. Unfortunately, people have tried to politicize what he's doing. He's doing it differently. It is having the desired effects. We're getting good cases that we've taken from him and prosecuted. And I've shown you the numbers. It's an unfortunate comment from an honorable member of the parliament.
This is what I was referring to earlier about your frustrations on the job, because if they're referring to Kinoti as an errand boy, that means you are an errand boy as well. I mean,
Jeff, I'm an errand boy for Kenyans. Nobody else. Kenyans. And I think the DCI is the same. Yeah. In any case, we are here to work for Kenyans. Yeah. Any other thing, any other allegations, let them prove it. That he's an errand boy for the president or any other person. As far as I'm concerned, we are errand boys for Kenyans.
And when it comes to you and DCI Kinoti and EACC's Twalib Mbarak, it seems like now this trifecta here is what we've been waiting for many years, and it looks like it's working. Is this what is going to slay the dragon of corruption here? Is this the team?
I hope so. And I pray that it will be. But not with all this chatter that is trying to derail us. We are not afraid of it, but we hope that it is not utilized to bring disharmony in this country, because that's one thing I'm afraid of, that it might morph to something that will then be unmanageable.
Yeah. Some people accuse you all of dramatizing this war on corruption. For instance, the Kamata Friday. when people are hauled into some police cell Friday, and of course they're not going to get out until Monday, or if there's a public holiday, then Tuesday. People accuse you of dramatizing it too much. Is that too much drama?
You know, I've said this over and over. Is it not drama when you also, for years and on, I know, you know, you're in school, in uni. You know, Thursdays, or Fridays, you would know if you don't have an ID and you're walking out, you'd be arrested, and you'll not be out until Monday. Yeah. And that's been happening all over. The other day we were in Kayole, we visited there. That is the norm in Kayole. You have people rounded up on Friday, brought in court on Monday, and it's never been a fuss. Suddenly, because we're getting to this white-collar crime, then people remember that they have constitutional rights. What about the other Kenyans who've been going through all this? That's my argument. But constitutionally, we are allowed to do this, and we'll continue doing it, because it has advantages for us when we prepare to take individuals to court. And I have challenged. If they go and change the law, well, good, we'll abide to the law. But as it is today, I think we have the right to utilize.
In your opinion, is it having an effect?
You tell me, Jeff.
I think people would just run away on Friday and not come back till Tuesday.
But we'll get them. Yeah, we'll get them.
As long as you're in Kenya, is saying you can run but you can't hide?
Precisely. Yeah.
Are you going to win the war on corruption? Because a lot of people have given up. A lot of people say, you know what? Shut down the country. Shut Kenya down. Put a big sign saying, closed for repairs.
I wouldn't go that far. You don't have, even when you want to do repairs, you don't have to shut down. Yeah, we'll do the repairs in piecemeal. We are probably starting the foundation. We might not be able to finish it, but I'm sure there will be others who will come and do it. Hopefully what we are doing will inspire patriotic Kenyans to come and finish this job. Yeah.
Some of the cases that you've taken on, let's face it, NYS 2.
Yes.
Very slow. Very slow. And then the other day, what did you do? You released 11 suspects.
I did not release suspects, and I have to explain, and I've explained this before. We converted them to witnesses. Okay, and this is a strategy. I don't want to bring it out here, because then everyone will know what our strategy is. But they're now cooperating witnesses for us, which is an advantage. These were very low-ranking officers who were utilized to commit the crime, and they will be useful for us to come and explain how it was done, so that we can be able to get the big fish who are there. Yeah,
the big fish we all want to get.
Precisely, and this happens in all jurisdictions.
And what about the critics who were saying, you know what, you're prosecuting too many people, who hire too many lawyers, who take too long, and that's what drags these cases? The Chief Justice is the one who said that.
Let me not revisit that, in the sense that I don't think you can put it on the Chief Justice. But we have the what you call the NCAJ, National Council of Administration of Justice, where the Chief Justice is the chair. And we've agreed that we'll be looking into some of these things, maybe try and make it more manageable. But our argument as the ODPP is that, do we then leave these people who committed crimes so that we have much smaller numbers of people, and then leave the others who are still criminals out there committing the crime? And I think the answer is no. So we are looking at more innovative ways to ensure that the courts have capacity. And I'm happy to note that the CJ has moved forward, and he's going to digitize and put more technology into it, so that where you have the judge writing, then instead you have stenographers and a system that picks up and does it much faster, so that then we'll be able to deal with these huge numbers. Unfortunately, the crimes as they are, for example, if the dam is to be prosecuted, you'll have quite a number of people who we cannot let out there, who will have to face the law. Yeah.
Half of them can turn state witness and, just...
Well, later on, they could.
There's also a criticism that the bail terms, someone who's stolen 5 billion gets 50,000 shilling bail, which is laughable. It's ridiculous. Does that frustrate? Does that concern you?
It does frustrate. It concerns all of us. And I think the Chief Justice is picking up on that. Again, under the NCAJ, we are looking at how best to ensure that bail and bond is commensurate to the crime that has been committed. And we're working very well with the judiciary. I'm happy to say that.
And the pace? Is the pace a little slow for you? Is it too slow?
Well, some of these things we have to change the law. And we have to go to Parliament. Sometimes, that text, it has to be drafted, it has to go through the readings in Parliament. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to lobby them so that they understand what this is. We have public participation now in some of these laws under the Constitution. So there is a bit of a process, but we'll get there. Some of them we're trying to address them, and I think I've noted that in some of them the Chief Justice has tried to address them through administrative measures.
When you talk about changing changing some of the laws, with electoral petitions, there's a timeline, right? There's a timeline.
But the cases there are a bit different. They're not as heavy in terms of the evidence compared to anti-corruption and other crimes.
Would you want to see a timeline in corruption?
No, there is already a timeline. The SECA has that. The Chief Justice has put special magistrates under the anti-corruption and economic crimes. I'm happy to note that he's already appointed about 10 new ones. We're trying to get space for them so that we can move fast. And I must commend the CJ for that. And I think very soon you will see a difference. On our side, as the ODPP, we're also making sure that cases just don't come. We are looking into them much more. We're demanding much more evidence in terms of, as I told you, so that we're able to recover. And we're able to tie in the omissions and the commissions and the conspiracy to the monies, where they went and who has them, before we charge.
Look, you guys are so busy digging up new corruption cases, but there's others which are not in the distant past that we've kind of forgotten. Eurobond, Afia House, NYS1.
NYS1 is in court.
Yeah, but it's taken so long.
I've never heard of any Eurobond investigations.
No? Afia House?
Well, Afia House, I think that's something that we'll probably revisit. There is a file in Afia House that we're looking into. There were a number of gaps, but it's something that we're revisiting. Right now, what we've done, the beauty of crime, it doesn't expire in terms of, it doesn't have a limitation, a statute of limitation. We can revisit all this anytime. But what we're trying to do now is to arrest what we have at hand. If we go far too back, or far back, we might be distracted with what is happening now. So we've concentrated and we've been systematic. We've looked at the youth, we've looked at energy, and we've charged people in that sector. We're looking at water now. We've looked into health, we've charged people in NHIF. NHIF itself has a multifaceted the crime is multifaceted. There's quite within NHIF, we've noted that there are probably 6 to 7 criminal offences that were done separate and distinct from each, which we're going to bring eventually. We'll move to infrastructure soon. We've already started with the SGR and the compensation of SGR, and we're investigating that. And we'll go into roads. And we'll also look into projects that are targeting housing and manufacturing, because this is what is current.
Yeah.
And we need to arrest it now before it's too late.
Sure. Yeah. Speaking of arresting, NYS 1 seems like a headache to you guys. A headache. Kafura's affidavit hasn't been released. Are you protecting someone way high that you don't want to mention? Or what's the headache in NYS 1?
First of all, Jeff, I don't do any investigations, but I'm not aware of any, unwillingness to move forward, especially with the current man that we have, the current CEO at ESCC. That will move too, I can assure you. Yeah.
And the affidavit?
I think he was here recently, and I think he gave an answer to that. And I would stand by him. Yeah. Yeah.
There's talk or critics saying, you know what, the file keeps moving from your office to Kenoti's office, back and forth.
Which file?
RAKA 1.
RAKA was never investigated by Kenoti, I'm sorry.
The ESCC?
Yes. Now, and I was in the Senate today. I did explain that ESCC is still investigating and has not completed the financials. And there is an international aspect to that. We're waiting for that. That's one. Two, there's a case in court that will determine the ownership
of the land.
And this case, unfortunately, was taken by NLC itself, by Swazuri then. But it's something that we're trying to see. The judgment will probably be given sometimes in May.
And if it's found out that the land was sold 3 times over?
No, we'll proceed. Hopefully by then we'll also be finished with the financial. Yeah.
When you walk into your office and you see the latest file, do you say, what is this? Is this a movie now? I mean, because some of these...
It's no longer, I've been there for, it's going to be 1 year next month. Initially, I was really shocked by the magnitude. I didn't think this is what I was getting into. But now we're used to it, in the sense that we're able much faster to see through the information that we're getting and tell whether there's a commission here of crime or not. Yeah.
This RAKA land that you say will get a decision hopefully by May.
All things done, yes, hopefully.
And yet some critics still say, you know what, the file keeps moving from your office to ESCC, back and forth, that somebody's trying to protect somebody. Cabinet secretary, maybe.
No, I think that is misleading. It's not moving from one office to the other. No, we have teams that sit down and engage and look at the files. When we're not satisfied as ODPP, we have a right to go and say, take it back and tell them these are the areas that you need to cover. And in this instance, we're still waiting for the financials. Once they're ready, we'll be able to move to court. Yeah.
But isn't that one of the reasons why people accuse you of selective prosecution?
No. Why? Why do you say that? Selective prosecution in the RAKA. If it's, there are Kalenjins there also, and there are other Kikuyus and there are Swahilis. So where's the selective? I have charged Swazuri.
Yeah.
Yeah. And certain individuals that are in the same file. So I don't see where the selectiveness that they're referring to.
11 months ago when you took up this job, did you think you'd be where you are today?
I aspired to be, and maybe a little bit more. But of course, when you come in, there's quite a number of things challenges that you meet. For example, we're going through an austerity phase as a country.
Yeah.
I can't ask for the funds that we desire to get the desirable institution, the ODPP. But we're trying to live within our means and ensure that we are able to discharge our mandates effectively.
And DPP, can you assure Kenyans tonight, there's millions of Kenyans watching you tonight, you and your team, can you assure them that this corruption they read about every day, that's numbed us all? We're so numb to corruption. The next billion means nothing to us because we know it's going to be stolen here or there. Can you assure Kenyans that you guys will do what you can to make sure that no more money is stolen and those who have stolen will face the full force of the law?
Well, hopefully eventually the actions that we take will ensure that no more money is stolen. But I can assure that the cases that we'll get, we'll do our best to prosecute them and to ensure that we get convictions. And hopefully, within the last 1 year, we've created a closely knitted team. We have what you call the multi-agency task force. Yeah. The MAT team is now working very, very cohesively together, and we are able to see results that are being churned much faster and much more effectively. So I think, Jeff, with that, then you will see better quality in terms of the prosecution, better quality in terms of the investigations that we're involved in, and hopefully more convictions.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, this kind of reminds me of America in the 1940s, you know, Al Capone and all those people that ruled the towns and the cities. And maybe you're the new sheriff.
Well, I'm not sure. We're a team, so I'm not the only one.
Do you get death threats?
I haven't. Let me say, I haven't gotten any.
Don't answer that. Monica, we have some tweets, right? Very many. Okay, International or Int Kenya says, "Hi Jeff, ask Haji what is his take on banks involved in money laundering and those aiding terrorism?"
We'll prosecute them, and that's what we're doing. We have a number of cases. Actually, very soon, I think we will probably be charging some of the banks. We have about 5 files that we are looking into. But I've said this quite a number of times that we're not here to kill our banks and industries. So we'll look at alternative mechanisms to see how we can charge them through either plea bargaining or deferred prosecution. And these are things that we're looking into.
Okay. And a big fat fine as well.
Yes.
That would help. Mwalimu 001 says, how about the death of Sharon, Jacob Juma, Chris Msando, the Idris dude guy from Garissa, among many more? Will there be any justice for the family or Nikifo Chamende? Forgotten cases. Life matters, duration matters. Life matters.
Life matters, of course. And I think we were in Kayola and I made that very clear. So if it's extrajudicial killings, we are doing something about that. We are working much more closely with IPOR and internal affairs within the police. And we've prosecuted quite a number of cases of police excesses. And some of those cases are in court. So the Garissa one is in court, and today we were in court on that.
Is that the Idris one?
Yes, we were in court. We have suspects, and we're dealing with it.
Because some people said that wasn't moving at all. That case wasn't moving.
No, you see, certain individuals want us to prosecute certain individuals based on rumors and innuendos, but that cannot happen. There's rule of law here in Kenya, and if the evidence doesn't lead us, we're not going to manufacture evidence against individuals.
Very good. Appreciate that. Engineer Jesse Kidula, does it matter if or not there is value for money from corruption proceeds? Does it in a way affect the assets recovery process?
But I understand the question. I think what I said is some of them, you know, with the money that they have, because they're laundering it, they don't care what they're acquiring. Yeah. And it's not viable. So somebody will probably go and invest in somewhere in the Bundus and invest 200, 300 million. Jesus. But when you go and now try to recover it, you're unable to recover the 300 million. That's what I was saying. Yeah. So it's important even when we're going for recovery of so what you're saying is they're dumb thieves. They're not just thieves, they're dumb thieves. Yeah, I think some of them are.
Fred Schuler says, DPP has so far only given us mentions of what is stolen. Does he do follow-ups to make sure someone is jailed? Because the judiciary keeps telling us there is not enough evidence, while the billion stolen is enough evidence. Nani pesa yetu?
You know, Jeff, on this issue of, because that comes to convictions, it is sad that even when you have senior counsels, they keep on asking us, where are the convictions? Yet, some of the cases just came 8 months ago. And we know the situations that we are in with the judiciary currently. They are underfunded. They don't have enough manpower. We don't have enough manpower. The police, for example, do not have some of the tools. And it takes time to investigate. It takes time to go and prosecute. Because you have a single judge who is probably dealing with 10 or 15 or 20 other matters, or even 100 other matters. And that's the situation we are in. We are trying our best to live within it. I told you that the CJ has put a certain mechanism. I have done the same. I've put special teams of prosecutors. I've brought in special prosecutors from the public sector to help us. And we're trying our best within our means.
Oh, tough job, man. Tough job. Rateng says, ask Haji why DPP, DCI, EACC run away from investigating Eurobond and loss of 292 billion on record from Auditor General's office, and SGR on record for inflated by over 100 billion, and GOK task force has said it's unviable.
I'm lost in this question because I don't know which DPP, DCI and EACC is referring to, because it's not me or any of the current guys.
And Eurobond, 292.
This preceded us, but it's something that we'll still revisit. By the way, Jeff, we are currently working very closely with the Auditor General to now put teeth into what he's identified as problems.
James Juguna says, if one robs 3 billion and stashes it abroad, yet at home he is worth 5 billion, must we follow the 3 billion abroad or recover from what's available?
We can recover from what's available. And remember, there's also tainted money. He must have, the 5 billion must have been tainted by the 3 billion. There's no way that would not be, and we can recover that.
Can 3 billion fill like a room like this? Just put in perspective for me.
I don't know. I've never seen 3 billion.
Me neither. Me neither. SMS's Dennis says, fertilizer and mercury. Why is the DPP opposed to retesting of fertilizer in the presence of suspects?
I think I know who's asking the question.
You do.
We are opposed, one, because of the environment that it has been stored in, and also because the people who are asking us to test, which is a company called OCP, they're not even within our jurisdictions. Let them present themselves. Yeah, and these are issues that we have a right to oppose. You cannot be somewhere abroad asking us to do tests and forcing us to do them, yet you're not even within the jurisdiction and you've not presented yourself in court.
Okay.
But the environment that this was stored, at the cost, it's humid, it's salty. We are of the opinion from the experts at KEBS that the tests might not be, the results might not be the same as the initial ones that we did.
Veronica from Wasingishu, how is the DPP going to recover corruption money kept under mattresses?
we are working on that, and I think ESCC is working on that, and you've seen they went somewhere in Samburu and some other, and we'll get it.
Yeah.
If you hide them under the mattresses, we'll get it.
Yeah, the stories, I don't know how true they are. Big people keeping lots of money in their homes.
I've heard of that, and that's something that we are working on. I don't want to say much because then they will start moving elsewhere.
That's right, that's right. They will start moving it. Charles Kiriri, Bwana DPP, anza kuchunguza Jeff pia. Anaongea akikuogopa, fungulia yeye mashtaka, ajibu kwa nini we.
Maua iko Meru.
Maua iko Meru. Huyu
mimi sijamuelewa kabisa.
Hata mimi wachana yeye.
Lakini kama unataka kufunga
hata usimjibu.
Sawa.
Yes. So many tweets, my good. Orie Rogomanduli. DPP Nordin, great work. Heko to your entire team. Just block your ears to fight crime, fighting back. You are our hope. Tribal bias accusations are laughable. Tired songs. Ignore them all. Orie Rogomanduli.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah. Why do you think the president seems to favor you guys over intelligence?
Sorry?
He seems to favor you people.
Over what?
From intelligence.
You would have to ask him. I don't know. but I went through a very rigorous process.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had nothing to do with me coming from the intelligence.
All right. You've been in office almost a year, 11 months. You're going to go the whole hog?
What do you mean, the whole hog?
Do you still have the energy to say, you know what, I'm going to complete my mission?
I think ask me after 2022, we'll see.
Why? What are you doing in 2022?
No, I'll see whether I have the energy.
Okay.
It's too early, Jeff.
DPP, thanks so much for your time, man.
Thank you, Jeff.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
I know we've kept you up really late, but we had to ask you some tough questions, man. And you've answered them. And we wish you all the very best, man.
Thank you, sir.
You know, you're a young man with a lot of energy and a great team.
Thank you.
And if you ever see my name in your file, please call me first.
I won't do that. You find yourself in jail probably. Or at Kinoti's
Kinoti will
the
be at
ESCC,
my door.
depending on who's...
oh my God.
But finally, maybe...
Yes.
I really want to thank my fellow prosecutors because they've we could not have achieved this without them. And of course, my colleagues also. And Kenyans, most importantly, Kenyans.
Yep.
They have, they've really given us the courage and the motivation to go ahead with this. So thank you very much. And thank you for having me. I'll be in Lamu next week. And we're doing a service week there, reaching out to the poor, because I think if you look at most of the cases, we've been accused of criminalizing poverty. We want to change that. We want to reach out to everybody, no matter what you are, as long as you're Kenyan, no matter your background, that justice is accessible. And we'll be there with the Chief Justice, and the Attorney General will also be joining us, and other dignitaries. Yeah. We're going to review files to reduce the numbers in remand, We're going to reach out to the communities to sensitize them on their rights, and the rights to access justice.
Yeah. We're gonna end with Silas Jakakimba, PA to former Prime Minister. Says the DPP has done well, Jeff. He has managed to separate fact from friction and thrashed out politics and propaganda. He comes out so balanced and objective. The statistics he has given, yawa. Yeah. About touting. Question about touting.
Yes.
Is touting a criminal offense? A lot of people are asking.
In the penal code it is, but there's been a lot of abuse. And the directive that I've given is that we as prosecutors will not approve charges if there isn't sufficient evidence, and will not allow people rounded up in the city and then charge for touting. That will stop henceforth. The police must have evidence, and it must meet the threshold. Otherwise, we will not give consent to charge.
Yeah,
it has been abused.
One last thing before I let you go, DPP. Recently, you appointed a team to help you, special prosecutors, right, to help you speed things up.
Yes.
Amongst them was.
Yes, but you just read his tweet, right?
Yeah, he congratulated you.
Yeah.
He says it's the loneliest job in the world.
Yeah. But
then he quit. Or
No, he had his own reasons. I think he gave his reasons, which are valid. But everyone has a right to change their mind. So it had nothing to do with that we had bad blood or anything. I think he evaluated what was there, the environment, and he found it more conducive for himself to recluse and remove himself.
Yeah, but he did say it's one of the loneliest jobs in the world, huh?
Yeah. Well, for me at least, I think during his time it was one of the loneliest.
Yeah,
for me now, I have colleagues who are reading from the same script as me. So it's not as lonely as it used to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
DPP Nurdin Haji, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate it, huh?
Thank you, Jeff.
Good luck. God bless you, and all the very best.
Thank you.
Folks, we haven't finished the news yet. Remember, we didn't do any sports. So we're going to do things a little backwards. We'll do sports with Bernard and Dong when we get back. And we'll let the DPP go for now. But thanks so much for your time. Babu Owino is trying to ask a question. We'll get to that. I'll ask you later on. No. You can answer him in your time. we'll let you. Monica, should we let the DPP go?
And you're not using the
fire extinguisher.
I thought you were going to use that.
You know, I thought you'd never ask.
I'm not. It was not smoking.
Coming up.